about the chemical properties. Now, before we move further about the chemical properties, we should know what is actually the chemical property about. Chemical property describes the ability of a substance to combine with or change into one or more new chemical substances. This can also be useful to identify an unknown substance or to separate or purify it from other substances. I hope now you are clear about the chemical properties. Chemical properties means the aldehydes or ketones are undergoing the different chemical reactions, and they will be giving us many more different products with different new properties. Now, to proceed the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones, we need to check how they are going to proceed. As we know, aldehydes and ketones possess the carbonyl functional group, so they will undergo the similar chemical reactions, but yes, they may produce different chemical products. Now, first we will be understanding that how aldehydes and ketones undergoing nucleophilic addition reactions and how we are getting the different products. Now, moving on to the topic, we need to know what is nucleophilic addition reaction. So, can you please tell me what is nucleophilic addition reaction? We have already learned this in your grade 11th as well. What are nucleophiles? What are addition reactions? So, what we are supposed to do is we just need to break the words and form the desired definitions. That is, what are nucleophiles? So nucleophiles, actually they are the Lewis bases. That means they have the electrons and they willingly try to donate their electron pair to the required ions. And what is addition reaction? Yeah, simply addition reaction means to add something. But when we are going to add something, if a compound possesses pi bonds, it may be double bond or triple bond. So by breaking the double bond or triple bond, the new functional group can be added into it. I hope now you are clear about what is actually the nucleophilic addition reactions. Now, contrary to electrophilic addition reactions that we have already observed in alkenes. Now, here we are taking the example of alkenes because alkene also contains a pi bond, as similar with the aldehydes and ketones. But here aldehydes and ketones will undergo nucleophilic addition reaction. The reactive nature of aldehydes and ketones is because of the presence of a polar carbonyl group. We have already seen in previous slide. As the oxygen atom is more electronegative, therefore it pulls the electron density around itself, acquiring a partial positive charge on the carbon atom and partial negative charge on the oxygen atom. Here you can see the resonating forms of the carbonyl group, how it takes place. C double bond O, which is a carbonyl group, rests two valencies. Either it can be satisfied with an alkyl group or the hydrogen atom. So, as oxygen is highly electronegative than the carbon atom, so this bonded pair will be attracted towards the oxygen, which shows the partial negative charge on the oxygen atom and partial positive charge on the carbon atom. Next, we will be looking into the mechanism of nucleophilic addition reactions, how it takes place. A nucleophile attacks the electrophilic carbon. Now, as carbon has the partial positive charge, that means it is acting as an electrophile, the one which is having less electrons, and now it is attracting towards the electrons. And whereas nucleophile means which is having an excess electron pair. So a nucleophile attacks the electrophilic carbon atom of the polar carbonyl group from a direction approximately perpendicular to the plane of sp2 hybridized orbitals of carbonyl carbon. Carbon attached with double bond with oxygen. So carbon is possessing sp2 hybridization. This is the slow step where nucleophile gets attached to the carbon atom and forming a tetrahedral intermediate, whereas next addition of hydrogen to oxygen atom is followed by a fast step and we are getting an finally addition product. That is, now you can see we don't have any more double bond of carbonyl atom in our final product. So it is known as nucleophilic addition reaction. The hybridization of carbon changes from sp2 to sp3 in this process, and a tetrahedral alkoxide intermediate is produced. This intermediate captures a proton from the reaction medium to give the electrically neutral product. The net result is addition of nucleophile and hydrogen ion across the carbon-oxygen double bond as shown in the figure above. Next comes about reactivity, how reactive they are. Aldehydes are generally more reactive than ketones in nucleophilic addition reaction due to the steric hindrance and electronic reasons. Now we all are clear about the steric hindrance, right? That we have already discussed in our previous chapters as well, and even in grade 11th as well, that a steric hindrance is created due to more of presence of the alkyl groups. The presence of two relatively large substituent alkyl groups in ketones hinders the approach of nucleophile to carbonyl carbon than in aldehydes, having only one such substituent. As a result, the nucleophilic attack is relatively more easy in aldehydes because aldehydes containing carbonyl group contains one hydrogen and one alkyl group. However, it is still easier in formaldehyde, which does not contain any alkyl group, because the molecular formula of formaldehyde is HCHO. Thus, the order of reactivity is formaldehyde is more reactive than any aldehydes. Say it can be ethanol, propanol, butanol, and it is again more reactive than any ketone. Next, electronic reasons. Aldehydes are more reactive than ketones because two alkyl groups are electron releasing in nature, which reduces the electrophilicity of the carbonyl carbon more effectively than in formal. Two alkyl groups present in ketone push the electron towards the carbonyl carbon and thus decrease the magnitude of positive charge on it, less susceptible to the nucleophilic attack. As carbonyl group present in the ketone contains two alkyl group. So alkyl groups are ready to donate the electrons to the carbonyl carbon. Hence, the carbonyl carbon now do not want any more electrons from the nucleophiles. It may be noted that benzaldehyde is less reactive than aliphatic aldehydes because benzaldehyde contains benzene ring, and this can be answered on the basis of its resonating structure. Here you can see the resonating structure of benzaldehyde, which explains that the resonating structures, due to the electron releasing effect, the magnitude of positive charge on the carbonyl group decreases, and as a consequence it becomes less susceptible to the nucleophilic attack. So you can quickly note down these points that aldehydes are generally more reactive than ketones in nucleophilic addition reactions due to the steric and the electronic reasons. Now in aldehydes only, benzaldehyde are less reactive than their aliphatic aldehydes. Aromatic aldehydes are more reactive than the alkyl aryl ketones which in turns are more reactive than diaryl ketones. For example, you can check here, benzaldehyde C6H5CHO is more reactive than acetophenone, which is C6H5COCH3, and which is more reactive than benzophenone, or we can say diphenyl ketone. Further, the presence of electron withdrawing group and electron releasing group in the benzene ring will affect the reactivity. Now you can check here para-nitrobenzaldehyde, right? Para-nitrobenzaldehyde, nitro group. Which group are this? Electrophilic or nucleophilic? Yes, you are absolutely correct. They are the electrophiles. So para-nitrobenzaldehyde is more reactive than the acetophenone. Now this question comes, would you expect benzaldehyde to be more reactive or less reactive? Yes, of course. Benzaldehyde is more reactive or less reactive? It is less reactive than the propanol. Some important example of nucleophilic addition and nucleophilic addition elimination reactions. Now when we are talking about the nucleophilic addition reactions, we have already talked about what is nucleophilic addition reactions. Let's focus on what is nucleophilic addition and elimination reactions. That means your nucleophile will be added in your given chemical reactions and a byproduct will be eliminated. That means will be removed from the reactant side and we will obtain a new product. Now first let us see what is addition of hydrogen cyanide. Now we have the carbonyl group present in the aldehydes as well as in the ketone. Okay, so here how the reaction takes place. Now Cn minus, your Cn minus is a nucleophile. Okay, that is the cyanide ion, but cyanide ion cannot be obtained directly. So we need to release cyanide ion from the respective compound. That is, we are taking hydrogen cyanide. Now when hydrogen cyanide is undergoing reaction with a base, it produces cyanide ion and water molecules. Now this cyanide ion, when undergoes reactions with the carbonyl group, that is the carbonyl group present in the carbonyl compounds. It can be your aldehyde, it can be your ketone. So this is a nucleophile. Now addition reaction has to take place. That means the pi bond has to be broken down. So you can see here the pi bond present between the carbon and the oxygen atom is attracted towards the oxygen atom. Hence oxygen atom on oxygen atom partially negative charge is created, whereas partial positive charge is created on the carbon atom. So the nucleophile can easily attack on the carbon atom and we obtain this tetrahedral intermediate, that is C bond O minus and bond Cn. But as why this is called as intermediate? Because this is having a charge. Okay, so it is not neutralized. Then by proton transfer reaction, we obtain cyanohydrin. Now, how will you call this product as in cyanohydrin? Because carbon atom 2 valencies is being satisfied by cyano group and the other is satisfied by hydroxyl group. So commonly it is known as cyanohydrin. Now, if you take any other example of aldehydes or ketones, say suppose this carbonyl group valency is satisfied by one with the H and another with CH3. So it will become CH3CHO. That means yes, it is acetaldehyde. So the name of the product here will be acetaldehyde cyanohydrin. Next, when aldehydes and ketones react with hydrogen cyanide to yield cyanohydrin. That is, this reaction occurs very slowly with pure HCl. Therefore, it is catalyzed by a base. And the generated cyanide ion, being a stronger nucleophile, readily adds to carbonyl compounds to yield corresponding cyanohydrines. Now, where these cyanohydrines are useful, why we are preparing cyanohydrin? So, these are useful synthetic intermediates, or you can say the reagents, which are used to prepare alpha hydroxyl acid, example lactic acid, amino alcohol. Next come addition of sodium hydrogen sulfide. What is sodium hydrogen sulfide? This is NaHSO3, which can also be called as sodium bisulfite. Sodium hydrogen sulfide adds to aldehydes and ketones to form the addition products. The position of the equilibrium lies largely to the right hand side for most aldehydes and to the left for most ketones due to steric reasons. We have already discussed about the steric reasons, which is related to the alkyl groups. More the alkyl groups, more will be the steric hindrance. So here we are, carbonyl group. It can be an aldehyde, it can be a ketone, depend upon these two valencies. How will you satisfy? If you are satisfied these two valency with an alkyl group, it will be a ketone. If you satisfy one of the valency with hydrogen and the other with the alkyl, it will be a aldehyde. So NaHSO3. Okay, how does it ionize? It will ionize into Na plus and HSO3 minus. So Na plus will go with the O minus, whereas HSO3 will go with the carbonium ion, that is carbon containing positive charge, or we can say partial positive charge. Then proton transfer, we will obtain bisulfite addition compound, which is crystalline in nature because it is a salt. So, quickly recap. The hydrogen sulfide addition compound is water soluble and can be converted back to the original carbonyl compound by treating with dilute mineral acid or alkali. What are mineral acid? Yes, mineral acid means the inorganic acids such as HCl, right? That is the basic acid that we are using here, and alkali means all the soluble bases, that is sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. As this is a reversible reaction, that means the reaction can be converted back to the original carbonyl compound by treating it with dilute mineral acid or alkali. So these reactions are also useful for separation and purification of aldehydes and ketones. This reaction can also be used to distinguish methyl ketones from other ketones. All methyl ketone give this reaction, whereas other ketones do not give this reaction. Now the points that you need to remember is compounds like diethyl ketone, benzophenone, acetophenone, etc. do not undergo this reaction. Why? As we have discussed earlier, due to the steric hindrance, due to the presence of bulky groups. Next we come how the reaction takes place by adding Grignard reagents. Now Grignard reagents, what are Grignard reagents? These as well we have learned earlier, that is they are the organometallic compound. For example, RMGX. Now if you can recall, we have already utilized Grignard reagents in chapter number 10 to prepare the primary alcohols and secondary alcohols and even the tertiary alcohols. So the reaction of Grignard reagents with methanol, Methanol is, yes, your formaldehyde, the name that has been derived from the formic acid which has been obtained from the red ants. Produce the primary alcohol with other aldehydes. That means it can be ethanol, propanol. We obtain the secondary alcohols, whereas with ketones we obtain the tertiary alcohols. Now let us quickly see the reaction mechanism. That is, aldehyde alcohols are produced by the reaction of Grignard reagents with aldehydes and ketones. First step is the nucleophilic addition of Grignard reagent to the carbonyl group to form an adduct. Then after hydrolysis, we yield an required alcohol. Okay, now you need to be very much clear about your required product. If you want to obtain the primary alcohol, that means you need to select your reactant as an methanol only. If you want to obtain secondary alcohol, it can be any aldehydes other than the methanol. And if you want to obtain tertiary alcohol, you need to select the ketone. So that you need to keep it in mind. And as we are seeing these nucleophilic addition reactions, the examples of nucleophilic addition reactions, so definitely the reaction will proceed further by adding the Grignard reagent. So again the same procedure, as carbonyl group is polar in nature and oxygen is highly electronegative atom than the carbon atom. So definitely this electron pair will be shifted towards the oxygen atom, where oxygen atom will possess partial negative charge, carbon will possess the partial positive charge. And as you can see in Grignard reagent, we have the alkyl group with the partial delta negative, right, which is known as partial negative charge, whereas MgX is partial positive charge. Right, this arrow shows that this alkyl group is attracting the electron pair towards itself, and hence we obtain an adduct. Then by hydrolysis, hydrolysis means addition of water. Definitely it will be taking place in presence of the mineral acids. So we are going to obtain the required alcohol with a byproduct MgOHX. So the overall reaction using different aldehydes and ketones are as follows. As I told you, formaldehyde will give you primary alcohol. Yes, you can check the number of carbon atoms in the reactant and the product. Okay, the alkyl group that is used in your as an Grignard reagent, the same alkyl group will be obtained in product. For example, if you want to obtain ethanol, then your reactant will be formaldehyde only, because you want to obtain primary alcohol. Now, you need to be selective for your Grignard reagent. That is, here you will select CH3MgX. Then only you will be able to obtain here ethanol. If you want to obtain here propanol, so again your reactant, the main reactant, that is formaldehyde, will remain the same. Again here the alkyl group will be changed. Here it will be CH3CH2MgX to obtain here propanol. So these are basic things are important for the conversion reactions when you have to answer the conversion questions, that to obtain ethanol from formaldehyde or to obtain propanol from formaldehyde. So that means you are going to use these Grignard reagent reactions to obtain the basic alcohols from aldehydes. Next, when we are talking about the secondary alcohol, so we have already defined what are primary alcohols, secondary and tertiary alcohols. Let us recall one more time. Carbon containing the functional group attached with one carbon atom, they are known as primary alcohol. Carbon containing the functional group attached with two other carbon atoms, they are known as secondary alcohol. Whereas carbon containing the functional group attached with three other carbon atoms, they are known as tertiary alcohol. So aldehyde, right? plus RMGX. Now here it won't, here R is given, right? So it can be any alkyl group. It can be methyl, ethyl, propyl, butyl, any alkyl group, plus R dash MgX. So you can check here from the reactant we have two alkyl groups attached, one of your Grignard reagent and other, that is we have the aldehyde. In this manner we obtain secondary alcohol here from the ketone, that is RCOR. Okay, if you are using here acetone or that is propanol, CH3COCH3. Here let us suppose we are using CH3MgX, then what will be our product? So we will obtain our product here CH3CH3OH. Can you please name the product? How we are going to name? So we are going to use the longest chain. Now here, which is the longest chain? Now again, if you select this chain, then it will be wrong, because we need to give the main functional group with the less number. So it will be your, what will be the name of this compound? 2,2-dimethyl ethanol. Okay. So from Grignard reagent you can obtain primary alcohol, secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohol. Next comes addition of alcohols. This is little important. Please listen carefully. When aldehyde reacts with one equivalent of monohydric alcohol. Now what is monohydric alcohol? Monohydric alcohol means compound having only one hydroxyl group is known as monohydric alcohol. In presence of dry hydrogen halide to yield alkoxy alcohol as an intermediate, which is known as hemiacetal. Now why this is named as acetal? Because it is having alkoxy group and OH group. So it is named as acetal, hemiacetal, which further react with one more molecule of alcohol to give a geminal dialkoxy compound. Okay, now we already know what a geminal means. That means carbon containing the same functional group, two functional group or two similar functional group on the same carbon atom is known as geminal, which is known as acetal. So here aldehyde undergoing addition reaction of alcohol in the presence of dry hydrogen chloride, we are able to obtain, as it is an addition reaction, again this carbonyl group, carbon will contain partial positive charge, oxygen will contain partial negative charge. So your R dash OH is again going to separate as OR dash minus and H plus. So this OR dash will act as a nucleophile. It will go to the carbon atom and this H plus will combine with this O minus. So we have an hemiacetal. Then with one more molecule of an alcohol, we are going to obtain the final required product, which is known as acetal or gem dialkoxy compound. Next, if we are talking about the ketones, right, where we have one more alkyl group, then the aldehyde. Ketone reacts with ethylene glycol, undergoes similar conditions to form cyclic products known as ethylene glycol ketals. From aldehydes we obtain acetal, from ketones we will obtain ketal. So again same carbonyl group, this is your ethylene glycol, or we can also name it as ethane 1,2-diol because two hydroxyl groups are there. Okay, for acetaldehyde we are using monohydric alcohols. For ketones we are using dihydric alcohols. Same procedure. HCl gas, then hydrolysis. Here we are not showing the intermediate, directly we have come to the product. But yes, of course, you can also form an intermediate like this as we have formed. So here you will divide this reaction. First you will show HCl gas, then the intermediate, and then after with dilute HCl, you will obtain ethylene glycol ketine. Dry hydrogen chloride protonates the oxygen of the carbonyl compounds, and therefore it increases the electrophilicity of the carbonyl carbon, facilitating the nucleophilic attack of ethylene glycol. So in many of the questions it can be asked, what is the function or what is the importance of using dry HCl? So here is your answer. Acetals and ketals are hydrolyzed with aqueous mineral acids to yield corresponding aldehydes and ketones respectively. Next come addition of ammonia and its derivatives. Nucleophiles such as ammonia and its derivatives means we have large number of nucleophiles containing this amino group. Right, we know ammonia means NH3. Now when one of the hydrogen is replaced by any other substituents, it termed as the derivatives, which is to be added to the carbonyl group of aldehydes and ketones to obtain large number of variety of products. For this, let us quickly see the mechanism, because once you are very much clear about the mechanism of this reaction, it becomes very easy to write the chemical reactions for n number of reactions with the derivatives. So again the same procedure, carbonyl group, same partial positive charge, partial negative charge. Here ZnH2, we obtain an intermediate, and then after we obtain the required product, that is C double bond NZ. So from this you can easily check. Here we have H2NZ. It's very simple. Remove oxygen from the carbonyl group and H2 from the reagent. So the reaction becomes very easy to obtain the final product. Now the reaction is reversible and catalyzed by acid. Now when we are talking about the catalyzed by acid, it means what is catalyzation? That is the chemicals which do not involve in the reaction, but it increases the speed of the reaction. It helps to increase the speed of reaction or rate of reaction. It's known as catalyzation. The equilibrium, here the two-way arrow, we have already learned about what is equilibrium. Shows the equilibrium. The equilibrium favors the product formation due to rapid dehydration, that means removal of water molecules. So here we are coming under the nucleophilic addition elimination reaction of the intermediate to form the desired compounds. Okay, initially we have seen that the nucleophilic addition reaction and nucleophilic addition elimination reaction. So here we are adding as well, we are removing the water molecules. Now some unsubstituted derivatives of aldehydes and ketones that will give you these following reactions. So here the Z, in the beginning we have seen H2NZ. Right, so it's very simple. Your when Z is H, that means it becomes H2NH, which is nothing but an ammonia. So the product we obtain this, which is known as imine. Now what is imine? C double bond NH. It's known as imine. Okay, basically C double bond N terms as imine. Now if your Z is replaced by R, that means it can be any alkyl group, CH3, CH3, CH2, right? It can be propylamine. So the simplest way is you are going to keep your reagent, that is it can be C double bond O, right? It can be HCHO, it can be CH3CO, CH3, but we are basically concerned about the carbonyl group. and by removal of water molecules we will be obtaining this desired product. This is the substituted imine, the Schiff base. Okay, next hydroxylamine, that is NH2OH, is known as hydroxylamine. So we are going to obtain the product oxime, that is C double bond N when attached with the hydroxyl group, then the product is known as oxime. This complete thing, C double bond N bond OH, is known as oxime. Hydrazine, that means NH2 NH2, so the product name will be hydrazone. When we are talking about phenylhydrazine, the product name will be phenylhydrazone. Then 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine, this is very important reaction. 2,4-dinitro, this is 2, this is 4, dinitro, phenyl group, hydrazine. Why this is hydrazine? Because NH, it's going to bond with NH2. So this final will be NH2 bond NH, phenyl ring and nitro group. So we will be obtaining product 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazone by removal of the water molecules. When we are using this NH2 NHCO NH2, it is known as semicarbazide. So the product name will be semicarbazone. You can check, this is very easy. The easiest reactions among all. Now please note down, as I told, this 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine is very important. These derivatives are either yellow, orange or red solids, which is a useful characterization of aldehydes and ketones.